Yes, welcome back to the Portsmouth Athenaeum. We're so pleased to be able to offer a virtual tour of our beautiful historic building here in the heart of Market Square, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. My name is Katy Sternberger, and I'm currently the archivist here at the Athenaeum. I earned my master's degree in archives management from Simmons College, and I am also a certified archivist through the Academy of Certified Archivists. I have been working here at the Athenaeum since 2018, and it's such a pleasure to be part of more than 200 years of history here in downtown Portsmouth. The idea for the Portsmouth Athenaeum arose at a really interesting time in history, 1816, the year without a summer. This year was so called because of the devastating impacts felt across the globe after a volcano in Indonesia violently erupted in 1815. Ash filled the atmosphere and blocked the sunlight for 3 years after the explosion. Here in New Hampshire, there was a frost in May 1816 that killed many of the crops, and the sun simply never came. Can you just imagine? To see the impact of the crisis at the hyperlocal level, we can look at the New Hampshire Fire and Marine Insurance Company records, which are part of the Athenaeum's archives. The insurance company built their offices here where we're standing in 1805. This was their reading room, and members of the insurance company would check the newspapers to see how their ships were doing as they sailed the world. In 1816, the insurance company's records show that they purchased extra firewood in August. It was so cold without the sun that they had to stock up on significantly more firewood than normal that year. Meanwhile, in December 1816, during such a dark time, both literally and figuratively, a group of Portsmouth citizens decided to come together and form a library where they could exchange books and intellectual discourse with one another. The Athenaeum was officially incorporated as a membership library the following year in 1817. 5 years after that, in 1823, the New Hampshire Fire and Marine Insurance Company went bankrupt, and the Athenaeum purchased this building, and we've been here ever since. So this lovely reading room, which looks out across Market Square, has always served as a library. Just as the ship owners once checked the newspapers in this room, now our members settle near the fireplace and read the newspapers. We also keep our new books on display here, and we hold public lectures and concerts in this space. You might be wondering what a membership library is exactly. Benjamin Franklin contributed to the popularization of membership libraries in the 18th century when he founded the Library Company of Philadelphia in 1731. The idea was to pool the resources of multiple readers, and it caught on worldwide. But of the thousands of membership libraries that flourished during the 19th century in the United States, we are now one of only 17 that remain. So the Portsmouth Athenaeum is a really special place, and it's an intellectual center for our community. The word Athenaeum, by the way, is derived from Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. We welcome everyone who is interested in seeking knowledge. Stepping into the Athenaeum is like stepping into history. One of the most striking objects in our reading room is probably the goddess Atalanta holding an apple in her outstretched hand. This carved mahogany figurehead with a gilt finish was originally made for the racing yacht Alcea, built in 1892 in Boston. We have the Royal Commission of George II with a large wax seal. The commission was issued in 1737 to create a committee to adjust the boundary between New Hampshire and Massachusetts Bay Colony. We also have the Royal Commission issued by King George III in 1760 to Benning Wentworth, conferring upon him the first full governorship of the province of New Hampshire. Both of these documents are recorded on parchment. We also have the ship model America. This was, the commission for the ship was given to William Pepperell, who is pictured on the opposite wall, as a result of his success at the Battle of Louisburg in 1745. This model, which was restored and exhibited at the Smithsonian Institution, was one of the first objects to become part of the Athenaeum's collection. Portsmouth was known for shipbuilding. The USS Raleigh, featured on the New Hampshire state flag, and the Ranger, which was captained by John Paul Jones, were both built at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, which is technically in Kittery, Maine. As you ascend the stairwell, you can see our collection of half-hull models. We have about 50 of these half-hull models, which aided in ship design. Here on the intimate second floor of our historic building, you can stop by to explore our cabinet of curiosities. In some ways, the Athenaeum is a bit like a museum. In fact, some of the objects from our collection come from the museum established by Nicolas Rousselet, a 19th century merchant, and we have objects from all around the globe. On display here are a miniature guillotine, a sailor's valentine, and even an armadillo. Celia Thaxter was a writer and gardener who lived about 7 miles off the coast of Portsmouth, on Appledore Island, which is part of the Isles of Shoals. We have a collection of some of her hand-painted pottery. She would order blanks of these ceramics and then decorate them with lovely floral patterns and lines from her poems. This is our library room where we keep our circulating books. The circulating collection is not just available to our members. You can request our books through the New Hampshire Interlibrary Loan System. So ask your local library if there's a book you'd like to check out from the Athenaeum. We have a number of unique books that you might not be able to find in the rest of the state. So in this room, we have biographies, literature, and history. We also have the personal libraries of Benjamin Treddick and Charles Levi Woodbury. Many of these books date to the 19th century, but we also have a lot of modern books as well, as we're currently always adding to the collection. Overhead is our gasolier, which was installed in 1851. The Athenaeum was one of the first buildings in the city to install gas lighting. The fixture was then electrified in 1950. An Athenaeum proprietor, George Pendexter, is responsible for this stunning gallery. It was an architectural feat in 1861 when he cut out an oval that opened the 4th floor to the library room below. The Athenaeum Archives and Special Collections were established in 1985. We collect and preserve unique materials that help to tell Portsmouth's story. For example, we hold the records of the Athenaeum itself, dating back to our incorporation in 1817. Some of the most frequently used collections are the church records. The records of North Church, South Church, St. John's Church, the Middle Street Baptist Church, and others are all located here. We have the Isles of Shoals collection, the papers of peace activist William Ladd, including his correspondence with abolitionists Angelina and Sarah Grimke, the photographic archives of prolific local photographer Douglas Armsden, the records of the Portsmouth College Women's Club, and the Seacoast, New Hampshire LGBT History Project collection. We have documents dating from the 17th century to the present day. We are now in the Athenaeum's Research Library, which is located on the 3rd floor. This is where you will arrive when you come to visit us. While our membership space and circulating library are located next door in our historic building, the Research Library is freely accessible to the public. Our public entrance is shared with Ireland on the Square. Elevator access is also available. Just give us a call when you arrive. The Research Library is where we keep reference materials. As you've likely sensed walking through the historic building, the Athenaeum is closely tied to Portsmouth coastal heritage. So our reference collections focus on local history dating to the 17th century, as well as maritime history and genealogy. We have 121,000 items across our collections, including 40,000 books and more than 64,000 digital images, which are all searchable in our online catalog. We have books, maps, photographs, ephemera, personal papers, family papers, organizational records, architectural drawings, artifacts, paintings, and rare books dating to the 15th century, all available for your next research project. Bring your questions and we can point you in the right direction. We have a number of resources available to help you with research. Our website includes information about how to research your historic house and how to research your genealogy. To get started, search our online catalog. The research library is open on Tuesdays through Saturdays from 1 to 4 p.m. There's so much to explore here at the Portsmouth Athenaeum. We are now in the Athenaeum's gallery space, and our current exhibit is First in the Nation, New Hampshire Presidential Primaries. Since 1920, New Hampshire has hosted the first presidential primary each election year in the United States. The exhibit features an extensive collection of photographs and political memorabilia, including posters, campaign buttons, bumper stickers, and clothing. There are also some interactive components, including a video montage. The exhibit will be on view through November 2024. The exhibit is free and open during our public hours on Tuesdays through Saturdays from 1 to 4 p.m. The Athenaeum also participates in Art Round Town, which is a self-guided gallery walk through Portsmouth that takes place every first Friday of the month from 5 to 8 p.m. Our gallery is located on the third floor adjacent to the research library. The Athenaeum is supported by people just like you. If you would like to help make sure our local history is preserved for future generations, we welcome you to make a donation or get involved. Information is available on our website at portsmouthathenaeum.org. Or simply stop by to see our beautiful historic building next time you're in downtown Portsmouth. So the Portsmouth Athenaeum has always been centered on the exchange of information. It's a place where you can come to learn and to share. So be curious, and we'll see you soon.